Welcome to the Early Morning Light Podcast. This is your host, Tracy Early, and on this podcast, I share life-changing tips, tools, information, motivation, and inspiration to bring light to your life as you tune in to the podcast week after week. Man, this is a very exciting time, very energized, energetic, whatever you call it, time for me as we are right in the middle of the Olympics. That's right. Every 4 years we get this, but the Olympics for me is one of the most exciting times in sports. As you guys all know, I'm a big sports person. I am energized, motivated, encouraged by sports. So I share a lot of sports stories, and the Olympics is just the ultimate. I don't know how many of you are watching right now, but it is just exciting. I mean, the energy around it, all of the stars that are coming out that have gone to France to support these athletes, the USA athletes, and all the other countries. It's just nothing like it. I mean, Snoop Dogg is doing his thing. I mean, the way he's representing, the guy is just everywhere. And I think I know that the athletes who know of him, are feeding off of that energy, and some of the other stars, Serena Williams, all those guys, Michael Phelps, that are there. It is just a cool time. That's right. And the USA is doing really well. I think they're at the top of the medal count, at least the gold medal count as I speak right now. So that is exciting. But today I want to talk a little bit about something that is not really about just about the performances. I mean, we know these are some amazing athletes who have dedicated time, blood, sweat, tears to their craft, and there's no question that they're the best at what they do, and the reason they're there is because of the amount of effort, the amount of blood, sweat, tears, the amount of work that they've put in to getting to these moments. And not everyone gets a chance to do this. So you can see that in the performances. You can see it in the interviews, just the respect that they have for the process of getting to the Olympics. Many people want it, but only a few get to do this thing. So one of the things that I tune into, and this is going to be my focus for this week, is not just the performances. Again, amazing athletes, best at what they do, but there is a mental piece to what they're doing that I tend to tune into. And as you know, I'm a big collector of quotes that I think are meaningful, impactful, motivating, inspiring, whatever. So I tend to collect quote, and I listen for the mental pieces, whether it's a quote, a statement that someone makes as they're being interviewed, which is typically where we catch these things. I tend to tune into them. And if it's something that speaks to me, if it's something that I think can be helpful to anyone that I'm working with or talking to who needs a mental shift, because we know it's not just the talent. It's not just the physical ability. Many people have that. Many people are gifted physically, are gifted in a particular sport, or gifted in a particular activity, but not everyone has the mental fortitude, the mental piece that allows a person to go from, should I say, good to great. And let's just face it, these are some great athletes who make it to the Olympics. So I apologize ahead of time. I don't actually remember who said this. I think it was one of the gymnasts. It may not have even been a USA gymnast, but the person was being interviewed, or someone was describing an interview with this person. And the person, in the middle of answering the question, she said that, I forget what the question was, but she said that her coach has taught her this quote, and it says, "You don't start here, you get here." She said that's something that rings in her ear, that she thinks about as she's training and preparing. You don't start here, you get here. A mentor of mine used to say, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Similar thing. You don't start here, you get here. And as you hear that, as we think about that statement, and that's one of those mental, something that probably a mental performance coach would work with someone on accepting, or I don't know, a neurolinguistic programming specialist might work with someone to develop these types of mentality, of just way of thinking, if that makes sense, that can allow a person to be effective at preparing. Because if you think about that, you don't start here, you get here. That's about the preparation. It's about the work that you put in. And, many people, I think sometimes we want to just be at a certain point. We want to start there. We want to just jump in and just be great at something. And that's just not how it works. These guys are putting thousands and tens of thousands of hours into their craft, and you can see it. So they're not necessarily thinking about every individual step, every individual move, every individual play that they make, because they didn't start here at the time that you're watching them perform. They got here by the work that they put in, by the commitment, the sacrifices that they've made for training. There's no question that these guys have sacrificed some of the quote unquote normal activities of that people their age may be doing. Hanging out, having fun, vacation. I don't know whatever it is specific to them, because they knew. And this young lady who made this statement or this quote has embraced this idea of, I don't just start here. I have to get here. I have to put in the work. I have to grind it out. I have to take care of my body. I have to take care of my nutrition. I have to put in the hours on a regular basis until I can get here. And obviously, if she's in that interview, she made it, but she didn't start there. So I want you to think about in your life, like, what are some things, some areas where you may be wanting to just start at a place that you need to get to. Maybe it's in your career, your business. Maybe you're frustrated because you're not there yet. Maybe it's in your relationships. I don't know. You're not there yet. You didn't start there right away, and you're frustrated. What if you could embrace this idea that I'm getting there? I'm getting there day after day, week after week, project after project, training after training. I'm getting there. Don't have to start there. People don't just start at greatness. They get to greatness. And obviously, when you look at these Olympians, these young ladies and men are great at what they do because they did what they had to do to get there. Started where they started, different places, but over the years, the thousands and tens of thousands of hours that they put in, they got there. And some might even say they're still getting there. One of the things you know about people who are at the level of greatness is that they can always see areas for improvement. So some might even say, I'm still getting there. I'm here now in the Olympics performing at the highest level, but there's still another level that I can get to. You don't start there, you get there. The other one, and I went back and forth on whether I was going to share the second quote, but I think this one was very close closely connected to the one that I just shared. So I was listening to another interview, and again, I had this on in the background while I was doing some work at the house, so I didn't catch the person who said it. Maybe you heard it and you know who it is, and if you know me, you can reach out to me and say, "Yeah, I know who that was. That was Simone Biles." I don't know who it was, but someone said that their trainer had taught them the mantra or the thought process of, and the quote was, "Practice like you've never won, perform like you've never lost." I don't know why I'd never heard that one before, and that's just so profound. Let me say it again. Practice like you've never won, but perform like you never lost. How powerful is that? How would things change for you or for us in whatever we're trying to achieve if we were to approach practice like we've never won, with that hunger, that drive of someone who is trying to get there because we've never been there? We believe we can. We're willing to put in the work to get there, but we've never been there. What if we practice like that in whatever we're doing in our lives? If we approached it as, I've never been there. I want this really bad. So I'm going to put in the practice, the work, like I've never been there. So it'll be so much more meaningful to me to get there because I haven't been there. And then what if we approached everything that we're doing, whatever we're trying to achieve, with the idea that I've never lost? Or if I have lost, I've forgotten about the loss. I have amnesia about what's happened in the past. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. In my mind, I haven't lost. I won't lose. Or maybe I can't lose because I've been practicing like I've never won. So it's a done deal. So I just wanted to leave those two with you. These are two of the most profound quotes that I've drawn from the Olympics so far. I'm sure there'll be more, but I am just so inspired by the process, not just the performances. The performances are great. I watched the all-around gymnastics final last night, and it was just amazing how close it was at one point, and how these young ladies, Simone Biles, Suni Lee, and some of the others, how they just stepped in and performed like they never lost. It was amazing. So this is Tracy Early. Thank you for tuning in to the Early Morning Light podcast. I wanted to share as I close today that I'm considering shifting the posting of this podcast schedule from a weekly to a bi-weekly schedule. So hopefully that's not a problem for anyone, but I think that's just going to fit and going to work better. So stay tuned for that. Again, thank you for tuning in. Please continue to tune in, refer your friends, like this podcast on all the platforms. I look forward to sharing more light in your life with the Early Morning Light podcast. Talk to you soon.